Last week on Overthinking and Highlighter.
I don't even know what that means. What does neurodivergent mean? Have you ever been told that you're too much? Am I being too much, or did I recognize a pattern that you just have never been checked for? One of our, in my opinion, one of our biggest superpowers, which is pattern recognition. That is where it is super hard, because once you feel that you can't trust your own mind, once you feel that you can't trust that person to the point where you have to start writing things down, it makes it super difficult in the entertainment industry to actually know who you can trust. As I've gotten older, you have to learn, and what I've learned is, yes, I might see the pattern, yes, I might understand what's going on, and I guess this is a really recent kind of epiphany for me. You have to know when to protect your peace. And what I mean by that is you have to think about it. You have to think before you say. So it's something that's helped me, and even as recently as the last year, to be honest, it's journaling. It's journaling. It is sometimes I just talk into my phone and I do it into my notes. It's sitting with that information, sitting with whatever made you feel uncomfortable, with whatever pattern or piece of discernment that you've learned. It's sitting with that and writing it down and saying, does this person have the capacity to listen, to understand? Does this person approach feedback with curiosity? Do they ask questions? Or do they get defensive? Does this person lead with empathy, or do they immediately start gaslighting? Ask yourself if this person, this human being, is mentally capable of hearing the truth, if they are emotionally intelligent enough to honestly hear about themselves, be told about themselves, and understand that it's an opportunity for growth instead of an attack, or an opportunity for them to then gaslight you and pretend like you're crazy. So you really have to kind of decide, one, the kind of people that you're going to be around as a neurodivergent person, which is really hard in the entertainment industry. And I think that is the best way to go about things as somebody who has ADHD, because again, our highs are so high and our lows are so low. So when we go from 0 to 10,000 real quick, in the blink of an eye, we are from 0, the most calm, chill, what's up, to throwing hands, sometimes, real teeth. We will go, it's very much that, because of, again, it's heightened ADHD, where it's heightened emotion, it's heightened senses, it's heightened brain activity, all of that. It's all part of that dopamine regulation that we are missing, right? So
have you ever noticed how arguments with someone who has ADHD can escalate super fast? There's actually a reason for that, and it's not because they love drama. ADHD brains are wired for the intensity, the fast thoughts, the deep emotions, and the instant reactions. When you mix that wiring with high ambition, entrepreneurship, leadership, creativity, that same intensity that helps you chase these big goals can also turn conflict into chaos in seconds. Because when emotions arise, the logical part of the brain goes offline, and the emotional part, the amygdala, takes over like it's trying to protect you from danger. So a small disagreement doesn't feel like feedback, it feels like failure. Criticism hits like rejection, misunderstanding feels like betrayal, and before you know it, you're defending not just your point, but your self-worth. That's why so many high performers with ADHD feel misunderstood. You can lead teams, you can close deals and solve impossible problems, but one intense moment with someone you actually care about can undo all your self-trust in seconds. You replay the argument over and over, thinking, I can be so good under pressure, but lose control the second emotions get involved. But that's not weakness, it's just your wiring. The same nervous system that drives your ambition also feels emotional at full volume, so you don't need to mute it, you just need to understand it. Because ADHD doesn't make you bad at relationships or leadership, it just means you experience everything: ideas, pressure, love, conflict in high definition. And once you stop trying to tone it down and learn to direct it, you stop being too much and you start becoming dangerous in the best possible way.
if you can kind of train yourself to learn how to sit with things, talk about it to yourself. Talk about it to, I mean, there's a lot of AI shit. Talk to some AI, I don't know, bitch. But sit with things before you say things. Because I've also learned a lot of things just don't need to be addressed. And I guess it's just come with being more comfortable within myself. I remember when I was younger, I always felt like I had to say something. Like I had to like defend myself. I had to explain myself. I had to make sure people didn't misunderstand me. And bitch, these people don't care. They don't care. So don't waste your breath. I mean, unless it's absolutely necessary, don't waste your breath. People, what is the word? It's like the saying, when people do not give people who are determined to misunderstand you the time of day. They are determined to misunderstand you. They want to misunderstand you. So nothing that you are going to say is going to change their mind. And that is something that has taken me, bitch, 34 years to learn, to be really honest. And I won't say I've always been like this, because I have not. I have not always been like this. But as I've gotten older, I just don't care. I don't care if people like me. I don't care if you...
Whatever, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Do I look like I give a fuck? Because I don't. I don't care.
Want to be my friend. I don't care if you don't see the pattern that's in front of you. I don't care if you don't want to take simple feedback that I'm trying very hard to explain to you in the most kind and empathetic way that I can. Because it's not about catching people, right? It's not about haha, got you. It's not about that. It's about understanding and learning and I don't know. It's about being open and empathetic. And I think that is the main theme of this little video that's getting too long.
One of the most draining things about being a neurodivergent person is realizing that 95% of the people that you come across in your life does not have the same intentions as you. Everybody wants to be a good person, so it's time to be a good person. Everybody wants to claim to be so many different things, and yet you'll find out in the long run that none of those things are truly them. It's because the way that you can recognize a pattern will show you exactly who that person is, but because you're so pure in your intentions, you'll look over things sometimes until you can't no more.
A lot of this reflection as neurodivergent people will save you so many unnecessary battles. So many unnecessary battles, because when you learn to protect your peace, when you understand who people are, you will do yourself such a big favor if you believe people when they show you who they are. And I mean, from even more recent personal experience myself, I'm of the age where I know who people are, but for whatever reason, I want to believe the best in people. And I mean, most recently, I knew who this person was, and I said, well, you know what? They would never do that to me. It would never happen in that way to me. They would make a choice. They would make the right choice. If it ever came down to it, they would make the right choice. I know this person is this person, but if it ever came down to it, they'd make the right choice. And at that point, I can't be so surprised when, whether it's years, whether it's months, people always show you their true colors at some point. People can only pretend for so long.
In psychology, one of the biggest signs of advanced emotional intelligence is being unable to disconnect from someone emotionally, not because you're attached, but because you understand them too deeply. And with ADHD, you feel everything in high definition. Your brain doesn't just pick up on the behavior, it picks up on the underlying emotion, the insecurity behind the confidence, the abandonment behind the anger, the self-doubt behind the indecisiveness. You don't just see people, you dissect them. It's a gift until it becomes a curse. Because once you understand someone's emotional patterns, it becomes almost impossible to stay upset with them even when they're hurting you. And the part that many never realize is your brain reads other people's pain faster than it reads your own. So instead of protecting yourself, you protect them. Instead of walking away, you rationalize. And instead of setting boundaries, you absorb the emotional cost. Your brain is wired to avoid discomfort before it chases what you actually want. And calling someone out, setting a boundary, disappointing someone, walking away, those things feel painful and uncomfortable to the nervous system. So you stay, you forgive, and you explain until you don't see the red flags anymore. You're too understanding to hate people, but too drained to keep them in your life. But once you reframe it, understanding someone doesn't mean you owe them emotional access. You can recognize the pattern and still step out of it. When you stop avoiding the temporary discomfort of protecting yourself and start choosing the long-term stability of honoring yourself, everything changes. You'll become unstoppable the moment you stop managing everyone else's emotions and start mastering your own. And when you do that, you don't just gain complete clarity, you become dangerous in the best possible way.
Because we want to help people. We want people to understand, where we're coming from, but also like just to make the world a better place. And oh gosh, I'm rambling, but neurodivergent people have we have a strong sense of justice. So when we feel wronged, when we feel other people have been wronged, when we feel that something needs advocated for change for the next generation, we as neurodivergent people will go out of our way to make the change, to change the way that things will happen in the future. And I think that's another thing that neurotypical people just don't quite comprehend, because for them, there is always an ulterior motive. There's a reason that they're doing things, whether it's ladder climbing or clout or whatever. And I've always found it so funny, neurotypical people like climbing on top of each other for clout and to climb the ladder or to, get in this social circle or this, because for me, I'm just like, and this comes, I am who I am. Like, I'm very much who I am. You are either going to love me or you're going to hate me. I think this is what happens with a lot of neurotypical people, because they conform and it's pack mentality, right? They conform and they adjust so that they can be accepted and they can be part of the group.
Neurodivergent people are less programmable than neurotypical people. And this makes neurodivergent people unlikable to a large group of neurotypical people who are programmable and are falling subject to groupthink and traditions and socially acceptable societal standards. And they're like, well, why aren't you participating in this? And it makes neurodivergent people very unlikable to those people when they're like, why doesn't this neurodivergent person just do what everybody else is doing to fit in? And when the neurodivergent person is like, well, why should I do that? They're asking questions. They get called rebellious or hard to work with, or whatever else you want to fill in that blank with. But in reality, it's just because the neurodivergent person is less programmable. They're not going to just do a tradition, family tradition, or a society tradition. They're not just going to participate in it just to participate in it because everybody else is participating in it. They're wanting to know why. It needs to be deeply aligned with their soul, with is this really working for me? Why am I doing this? What purpose is this serving overall? And this can make neurodivergent people question, why don't people like me? It can make them feel like the black sheep. It can make them feel like, why aren't people accepting me? But when they shift their mindset into viewing themselves from a positive light and not viewing themselves through the lens of the neurotypical brain, and they actually view themselves through a positive lens of, I am less programmable. I don't just do things just because everybody else is doing things. I don't fall for group think. When they shift their mindset from viewing themselves through that neurotypical lens, through viewing themselves through a positive neurodivergent lens, and viewing all of the superpowers that they have because they are neurodivergent, unstoppable.
But I think that, and this is just for all my ADHD girlies and people out there, when you learn to trust yourself and trust who you are, because you know who you are, deep down, once you start stripping back those layers, you know who you are. And when you learn to trust yourself and trust who you are and stand strong in that, baby, you'll be unstoppable. Because people are not like that. That's not normal. And I think that is why people want to keep you down. People want to seclude you because, again, people know what they're doing and they see that authenticity in you that they don't want to ever see, and they know that they could never be, baby. Because your discernment, your pattern recognition, your empathy, your heightened emotions, your heightened senses, they are a gift. Real tea. And I think it's time that we stop pretending like people with ADHD are the mentally ill ones when our brains, our senses, our level of intelligence is so much higher than the average person. I might not keep that in, but it is. It is. So I want to hear from y'all. Drop your stories down below, because maybe when we come together and we talk about our stories and what we've been through, it lets us all know that we are not alone. It lets us know that we are not crazy. It lets us know that our pattern recognition is not a curse. And I know, especially when you're young, and when I was young, it feels like it sometimes. It feels like you wish you didn't see everything. You wish that you could walk through life not noticing, not picking up on things. Because it affects your spirit. It comes from the spirit, I think. It comes from your spirit, that ability to pick up on those nuances, but it affects your spirit at the end of the day. So drop your instances and your stories down below. And remember to keep overthinking in highlighter, because overthinking is what we do, and that is okay. Yeah. Baby. One thing else I've learned is you have to check people the first time. You cannot give people the opportunity to think that is okay. What you said is not okay. We will not be doing that. Do you want to try that again? So with that being said, yes, sit on it. But when someone tries you, because people will, because they see that softness in you, they see that empathy in you, they see that willingness to come out of your shell and learn, they will be the first one to challenge that. They will try to come for you, and you gotta check them the first time.